Alright, hopefully this can hear me. Um, Not too sure what happened to my recording. I'm kind of upset because I just did a video. But anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. We're going to be talking about this Epstein Psyop, and I'm just going to try to keep it to the point. So I had a couple of people this morning text me about what I think of this whole Epstein thing and whatnot. Um, One of the things that I want to be clear is that a lot of this stuff that is happening is basically to manufacture your behavior, manufacture how you think, how you, and basically get your support into the left versus right um, mind trap. Um, One of the things that one of the videos that I want to show you right now is about basically to so okay, we're gonna start with this video. So this guy Zachary Hubbard, he's pretty good at what he does. But one of the things that, if I see him watching this video, he talked about the government shutdown, which is just a total psyop. You didn't see, uh, you know, you didn't end up magically stop paying bills. You didn't end up magically stop uh, going to the grocery store and not seeing any food or anything like that. It's a hoax, bro. It's a psyop, and then he magically believes because he didn't have any more customers for his Airbnb that it must have been real, bro. It's a psyop. The government shutdown lasted for 33 days. But anyway, um, so one of the talking points of this is Bill and Hillary. So one of the headlines for the BBC is Bill and Hillary Clinton to testify to congressional Epstein probe. And this happened on 2/2/2026, so basically 2 days ago. But it was the 33rd day of the year, 2/2/2026. And I also want to say that Bill Clinton is a part of the DMLA. He's a part of Freemasonry. And I've had many discussions about this, many debates on Twitter about Freemasonry and DMLA and all that stuff. But, these are the people who get promoted to these ranks. They go into these orders. They're a part of these families, and they go into orders like this, a part of DMLA, and they congratulate them, and they get into positions like a presidential position, which is just a puppet. Presidents are not elected; they're selected. But basically, this is just a whole nothing burger about this whole Epstein file release. It's basically a distraction of what's really going on. I'm gonna prove it. So, pedophilia has been going on for God knows how long, right? But there was one thing that I watched yesterday. And basically, I'm gonna play this for you, and we will go over it. So let me play it for you.
Second, accountability. ICE must follow the same rules as local police departments, including independent investigations. And speaking of playing by the same rules, masks need to come off, cameras need to go on.
So you see that masks need to come off, cameras need to go on, because what what is this about? It's about digital ID. It's basically, about surveillance. That's what I see it as. And so because he's talking about the Minnesota ICE shootings, which are a psyop, but anyway, plays into the uh, Epstein files and the pedophilia and uh, basically digital ID and government surveillance. So basically, what it is, it's this whole pedophilia thing. They play it on the news, and then they manufacture behavior control of parents, maybe you, and potentially other people. Like, for example, the 764.
It's gonna stop.
The 764 cult, so called, which is just operated by the government. Again, the government coming out and doing these psyops on the masses, where you get manufactured into behavior control, where they basically, you're demanding more restrictions online. You're demanding that children have restrictions from grown adults, and then this leads into the digital ID. And then you have parents who put things onto their children, and basically they're surveilling their own children. And I should also mention that Freemasons, they have a system in place where they have their own digital chipping. Go look it up, okay? They have their own digital chips where they are putting microchips in children. And they do it under the disguise of good. It's not good. Because this is really what's going on. Is digital ID. And so there's also this other video that I want to show you guys. I won't play it all, and I highly recommend you guys go and watch these videos. So a video by Swilliamson. So basically, he goes around and shows how they are creating a digital grid, basically acting as God, so to speak. And these cameras can get accessed, which then go to these so-called real crime data centers. And these guys have a camera that I don't think has came out yet. The police officers do. And so I highly recommend you go and watch this video. But the whole Epstein files release, I don't doubt that what happened potentially, I'm not saying it didn't happen. But what I am saying is this. I'm saying that the media can use stories like this, and then they can fabricate it, create something for their agenda. And who knows if the whole story is even real to begin with, but they can use, let's say it did happen, okay, let's say all that stuff did happen and whatnot. They can use these facts and create a story from it that may not be so real, such as, fabricating this story about Jeffrey Epstein and pedophilia and whatnot. Again, not saying that it didn't happen, but the greater agenda is that it's for the digital ID. So, one of the things, and so, they create this thing, And then you go here, tie it back into the Minnesota ICE shootings, and then you go and see Larry Ellison in that clip, how he wants people to have cameras on, and then you demanding more surveillance, um, and how we need more restrictions online. Basically, demanding your own slavery. So, that's what I see this turning into. Is manufacturing behavior control so that basically we demand that our own slavery, so to speak. And then this guy, I don't know his name, but whoever this guy is, he goes on to talk about how Republicans want order over chaos over order.
Sense reforms, ones that Americans already know and expect from law enforcement. If Republicans refuse to support them, then they're choosing chaos over order.
Yeah. So they're choosing chaos over order. So basically, that's the Freemasons right here. That's Freemasonry. And their motto is order out of chaos, except he says chaos over order. Same thing. But, and I know my profile picture is this, and maybe I'll get into it one day about my spiritual awakening and whatnot, but so you have good occultism and bad occultism. These guys are using the powers of nature and the spiritual aspect of life, and basically they're using it for bad to bring about this new world order. So, let me talk to you guys about astral projection and these astral entities. A lot of these characters on the world stage are demon possessed. You see people like this guy here, you know, turning like his eyes look like a lizard. So in the spiritual, we don't. So think about it like this. This may seem far fetched to a lot of you, but think about it like this. If you go back and watch one of my videos, preferably my last two videos, I talk about my astral projection or out of body experience and seeing this figure, this black figure, at the foot of my bed. And it was like a black shadowy figure. And so I've talked to other people about this astral projection and these astral entities and whatnot. And a lot of these people are demon possessed by these astral entities. So what we have been and we can discuss all this about theology and God and whatnot and what we find as God, but basically these people are demon possessed by astral entities. So because they don't want to come to God, because they don't want to come to the divine and become better people, which they can be forgiven, but you see, they're bad people. They're demon possessed. It's what demon possessed people do. These people are demonically possessed by these astral entities, which they sacrifice to bring them power that isn't good. Power that isn't good. It's parasitic. You see things like this. It says in the Bible, all things that are in darkness will be brought to light. And so we are seeing this. We are seeing real-time demon possession. One thing that happened at the World Economic Forum several days ago is that Elon Musk was on and he talked about how he was a demon. Well, not a demon, but an alien. But you might as well call him a demon because he is one. But But he said, "Oh, I'm an alien. And people don't believe me, but I am an alien." And he looked like he was wearing a mask. If you go back and look at that clip, if you look at his neck, he looks like he's wearing a mask. uh, I'll show you guys really quickly. Okay, so here's the clip. You look at his neck. Okay, look at his neck, and then also look at his hand sign too. He's making the Masonic hand sign, but just listen to this.
Um, are there aliens among us? And I'll say that I am one, but
Or you're from the future.
they don't believe me.
Okay.
But I think if anyone would know if there are aliens among us, it would be me. And we have 9,000 satellites up there, and not once have.
Okay, so that's basically all I wanted to show. That he says that he's an alien and he wears a mask. Now, part of this, he could be messing with us, but I don't doubt that you have people like this guy who's demonically possessed by astral demons. You see him wearing the Baphomet costume. Baphomet isn't what we've been told it is, but these guys, and the way that they take symbolism and twist it, okay, these guys are using that power for bad. And then Elon Musk growing up in a satanic family. Yeah, I mean, this guy is just a puppet nonetheless, but I see this whole Epstein stuff as just manufacturing behavior control. I see it as just manufacturing behavior control in order to get us to fall under their government psyop into the left versus right. The conservatives are going to be like, oh, they're trying to paint Trump as a bad person. And then the Democrats are going to be like, oh, Trump's a bad person, and our Democrat leaders, they're not bad. But and then the conservatives are going to be like, oh, these politicians are all bad, but their politician isn't bad. You know how it goes. So people really need to realize that, what's going on. They need to see it through a broader lens, so to speak. They need to see it through a broader lens and really what's happening here. Because it's more than what you think it is. Everyone's focused on the release that they'll probably never read. Okay? They'll probably never read the files. Okay? But they're happy that they came out. I don't think there's really anything I want to say else, but one of the jokes here, the Epstein files are over 6 million pages of documents, images, and videos. So the joke there being like 6 million you-know-what died in the you-know-what in World War II. Okay, 6 million pages of documents, just like how they say 6 million you-know-what died in you-know-what. But yeah, the jokes are just all over the place, dude. And people really need to start awakening consciously to what's happening. These people are just to lead you down in your own suffering and in your own slavery and all that, basically. And this is nothing but a nothing burger. Nothing is going to come of the Epstein files. If anything, it's just to lead you down your own road of damnation, if anything. If all these people are involved in it, and they're not good people at all, and everyone should be questioning narratives. Don't listen to anyone, or if you do listen to people, I think it's good to listen to people, but always question always just see the greater agenda and the bigger picture and perspective here and what's going on. Don't just believe the mainstream narrative, okay? You step back for a second and see how it plays into your emotion. Think of the Charlie Kirk psyop, Donald Trump psyop, and what came from this. Okay, what came from that? I won't get into that. I do have a video on the Trump assassination hoax psyop, and I could say more there, but just really take the time to be careful. Okay, be careful, because the government wouldn't just give you this. The government gives you little, like a pig following a carrot. Okay, like how that reference, like a pig following a carrot. They drop these little things, and then all of a sudden you think you know the truth. It's just like the JFK stuff, bro. Like, they drop that, and then what happens? They drop these little files, and then you all of a sudden believe you know everything, even though they're literally just saying the same mainstream narrative of how Oswald was the killer. I think that's his name, or last name, or whatever. Even though he was just a patsy. Yeah, it's there's so many layers to this, but the way I see this coming is basically for the digital ID, and this is the big story right now. I remember back in 2025 how we had Pam Bondi there on Fox News saying, oh well, we have the files on our desk. I have the files on my desk, and I'm gonna release them. And then, oh, they didn't get released, and then they're talking about how they're gonna release them, and then you see people coming out, and everyone was making jokes about how like there was a Templar tattoo on one guy's wrist, and then everyone was like, oh, are you ready for the Templar files? Are you ready for the Templar files to come out? And then you have Donald Trump coming in and being like, well, he was like, oh, we have the Epstein stuff. We have all this stuff going on, and you want to talk about the Epstein stuff? We have all this stuff going on, and you're going to talk about the Epstein stuff. And then he wants to call it a Democratic Obama hoax, and then he wants to switch up and say, oh, well, Congress, go and release the Epstein files. And then you have Twitter posts that are like, oh, like these Q-tards and MAGA-tards, they're like, have the public demand the Epstein files after you call it a hoax. Yeah, this is how you do it. Oh, get people to say it's a hoax and then demand their release. Just nonsense after nonsense, bro. And then, is Trump now a good guy? Since the Epstein files got released, 6 million pages. Come on, bro. Add your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Anything I didn't touch on, let me know. I just go off the top of my head. I didn't have a script or anything written down. I just want to talk about what's going on and what I see coming. So, as I probably do more of these videos, if I do more in the future, which I probably will, I'll probably always upload. But yeah, just let me know what you think and share this video, And yeah. Anyways, have a nice day.